Hey everyone, welcome back. Bradley Lenart here again, Troy Publishing's Author of the Year and creator of Bradley Life Systems, and today I give you this 20-minute video about how to find your life's purpose. More than 80% of the population are unhappy with their life. The main reason for this is they've never figured out their true life's purpose. So there are three kinds of people. First is the entrepreneur, second are employees, and third are people who have no idea who they are or what they want. You know the old saying, there are those who make things happen, there are those who watch things happen, and then of course there are those who just wonder what happened. So you need to be the type who makes things happen. But to do that, you need to know what you want, and that's what we're here to do today. Here on my board, we have a box. Inside the box are 4 quadrants. First, figure out which quadrant you're in. This corner is unsure, this corner is sure. This corner is working for yourself, and this corner is working for others. You gotta get inside this quadrant here. As you can see, it's okay to be working for someone else as long as you're positively sure what you're doing is your own life's purpose. If you're not completely sure, you never tap your fullest potential. And whether you're working for yourself or others, you need to work for your own personal motivations. By the way, if your motivation is to help others like the medical field or something like that, that's a good way to go. Now, the next thing about living your purpose is what I call the purpose pyramid. A purpose pyramid is just that, and this one has 5 levels. It's a pyramid that shows how you can move up through these levels. A critical success factor is the key determining factor most people overlook, but makes all the difference in the world. Now, this particular pyramid is about finances because your finances is that key factor. You see, the goal is not to just find your life's purpose. The goal is to live your life's purpose. And let's face it, we all need money to live healthfully. Now, I'm not here to say whether that's right or wrong, but it is the way it is. And you ever notice people get like really emotional about money? And I always get so much slack when I talk about this because we are conditioned to think money is materialistic. Let's talk real talk. Money can actually be the fuel to propel your life's purpose. So it is very important to be money conscious. In my book, The Happiness Factors, I explain how money reveals the person you really are. If you're a giving and caring person, you have more to contribute, and it can be used to do great things like spread a positive message. So there are 2 roads you can take. First, find a way to pay your living expenses while pursuing your purpose. This is what I did, but it leads to an exhausting lifestyle. The other is to double down, doing your purpose only, and take a chance. This is what most people do. The problem is you can actually go broke along the way. I don't know your story or your situation, so I can't tell you what to do. I personally never put all my eggs in one basket. However, some people need that pressure of burning their bridges behind them to find motivation. The word monetize means to convert into currency. Your main goal is to figure a way to monetize your life's purpose. This should be your #1 priority. It stands before anything else. You must make this your obsession. Think it, breathe it, and dream it. But be open to the possibility you may have to change it slightly or shift it so that the world accepts it. There's always a way to monetize, and it usually comes down to sales or marketing. There are over 7.1 billion people on the planet. If you could just have a fraction of those people wanting your service, your product, or idea, you could be set living your purpose. Now, in this pyramid at the bottom is massive debt, regardless of politics. In Donald Trump's book, he talks about a point in his life when he stopped focusing on his business. During an interview, he pointed out how a homeless man was worth 8 times more than him. So this is the same kind of debt Trump was in at his lowest point. Massive debt, like personal debt, credit cards, and that type of thing. By the way, if you're using credit cards for business, that is not bad debt because you're using it as leverage to create profits. The next level up is called scarcity. If you do not know where you're going, you're probably operating in one of these 2 levels. You see, in order to make the world a better place, you must operate from your own personal motives. Like that old saying, take better care of yourself first so you can take better care of others. And those of you who know my deal, you know I started in a tough spot. Pretty much homeless at 12 years old. I really had no chance. Thanks to an ex-girlfriend who lent me money to go to college, I was able to get an education. From there, I continued self-education and never stopped. Many people struggle because they believe learning stops after college. The problem with that is the world is constantly changing. So the question is, will you keep changing with the world, learning new skills and changing your approach so that you could thrive in these new ages? Your life purpose is your own special gift to the world, and you should be paid for it. I believe this is the game of life, but to win it, you have to be flexible and keep learning along the way. You can figure a way to, do your life purpose, and if you do, you'll be laser beam focused, and it won't feel like work. Bruce Francisco is a friend of mine. He's an author and speaker. He's been seen at various shows like Extreme Homes and that type of thing. Bruce took an old missile silo. I'm talking about a World War II missile base, and built an underground home inside this silo. Above that, he built a beautiful log cabin at the end of a runway. He's a pilot, I'm a pilot, and we'd fly to this place in upstate New York. For New Year's Eve, I think it was 2012, he had a huge party, like a rave in this underground missile silo, and our planes were parked outside, so I interviewed him. I said, Bruce, how'd you do it? He said, I just follow my heart. He said, my goal was never to make $1 million. Of course I hustled, but I just do what I love the most. He said, Brad, I've never worked a day in my life. Everything I do comes down to my passions. Now, Bruce has the business mind to turn his passions to income, and that's how you need to begin to think. Happy, purpose-driven people are that way because of the psychology they hold. 99% of the people you meet on the street do not have that mindset. So it becomes easy to just fall right back in and settle for less. Next thing you know, you're working a job you don't like and the years go by. Now, I'm not here to say, you should quit your job because you still need money to create your life's purpose. But if you really want to thrive, you have to serve the world what you were put here to do. Otherwise, you'll never truly be happy. And deep down, you know what that is. So I have a question for you. Back when you were about 8 years old, what did you want to do most with your life? What was that one thing you loved, that magnificent obsession? What was that one thing you wanted to do before social conditioning set in? If you can't think of anything at that age, maybe it was 14 or 15. I'm here to tell you, whatever that one thing was is most likely your life's purpose. Now you may say, Bradley, I can't pursue that. I have kids or I have to work 40 hours per week. If you're thinking that right now, you're making excuses. Of course it'll be difficult to juggle everything. The grind and working hard at peak performance is life, my friend. And the sooner you figure a way to love the grind, the quicker you'll find your highest self. We as humans are put here to get things done. This is your life we're talking about, and there are no practice runs. In your greatest resource, I show you how you can schedule your week using something called block time. Now, block time is when you take a certain amount of time for something like learning a new skill, and you schedule it in every single week. I've done this my whole life to learn many skills, and it really makes it easy. Let's say your life's purpose is something like music, and you don't have the equipment yet, well then you use that time to learn lyrics or research. But you block that time out and nothing gets in the way of your block time. There are no excuses. Look, this is just as important as anything. And if you're not already doing this, then you're not showing up as your best. Studies show depression, overwhelm, and that sense of learned helplessness many people feel many times just comes down to the fact that they haven't figured out their life's purpose and or they're not being productive enough toward it. Now, John Kehoe is a best-selling author. He's written many bestsellers. In his book, A Vision of Power and Glory, he explains how every successful person who is really happy has gotten that way by doing something they love. Once you start doing your life's purpose, you have more confidence, more passion, more drive, and life becomes more colorful. Everything changes, and you end up bringing that with you into everything else, and your whole life elevates. This is what you were put here to do, and even if it's just a hobby for now, if you're still here watching this video, I believe you agree with what I'm saying. So maybe when you were a kid, you were just passionate maybe about a lemonade stand. So for you, it's like a business, like an entrepreneur. Whatever it is, write it below this video and share it. I want to hear about it. You see, what happens as children is we are wide open. But as time goes by, it's like we get clouded with doubt and fear. This comes from naysayers and people who say our life's purpose is not practical, so we get stuck. Well, this video here is here to remind you. I'm here to remind you who you really are. So let's say you're a struggling musician. Then produce an album and learn internet marketing. Anything can be marketed as a product. Now, I'm not here to say it's easy, and it won't happen overnight, and you'll have to make sure it's good, and you probably have to make a lot of changes before you can really get it to work. But too often I see people give up way before they even give it a try. The negative mindset sets in, and they don't even know what they're missing. Now you may say, Bradley, I don't have the money for that. Then go get a part-time job. Set money aside every week. Look, it's better than being unhappy the rest of your life, right? Think about any business or entrepreneurial venture. Who's the one with all the power? It is the one who sells the most or has all the work. And which company is that? It is the company not only with the greatest product and sales, but also has the best marketing. So learning effective marketing or advertising is probably the single most important skill any person can acquire. Because once something reaches a critical mass, it is accepted by the masses and it takes off. From there, talent sure does help, but it doesn't always have everything to do with it. Some of the largest bands, products, models, or spokespersons are huge, simply because they understood the science behind marketing and or there was a marketing genius behind them. You see, the world is gigantic, and it is proven that our brains cannot fathom 7.1 billion people. Even 1 billion is too much to comprehend. So if you're not happy, it's probably because you're not living your life's purpose, and it's kind of your own fault. Take the time to learn what you need to learn to get what you have to the masses. Ask yourself this question: how can I be making more money doing what I love? Now, this video is not going to give you all the answers. We're just beginning the process. I'm helping you begin to think about your life's purpose and monetize. It could take you years to really figure out how to get things moving because there are many variables. But one thing is for sure, you got to get this right because you only have one life. Now, the problem with staying here in these two levels is your brain actually begins to believe that this is normal. Neuroplasticity is the fact that the brain can change. We can become smarter, or we can change our ways of thinking. We can also change our motivation level through neuroplasticity. So the brain can change for the better, but remember, it could also change for the worse. This is why we see people sometimes deteriorate with age. A lifetime of negativity and failures, and they just kind of give up. That just breaks my heart. When people pick up bad habits, they are rewiring their brain to think that something like deteriorating with age is normal. Well, it doesn't always have to be that way. You see, we can get better with age, kind of like fine wine. Now, above scarcity is momentum. We've all been in momentum. This is when we begin to create a buzz or traction in our finances. This is where most people stop. They stop here because it becomes uncomfortable. You know, when you start gaining momentum, it's like other people notice. And when people notice you, you're gonna get resistance. In Grant Cardone's book, The 10X Rule, he explains how criticism is just a part of the success cycle. The next level up is called healthy. This is the healthy lifestyle. You're making 100 to 200,000 per year and you're on point. And the level above that is prosperous. Prosperous is when you really have the power to make serious changes in the world. In these top three levels, you feel good spiritually, emotionally, relationship-wise, and financially. You're living your life's purpose, living a legacy, and your life becomes magical. These top three is what you should be focused on. Start at momentum, but remember, do not feel uncomfortable. Keep going. Push through to your purpose. This is when you feel healthy in all the areas of your life and all your needs are being met. In these higher levels, you can live a happy, healthy, purpose-driven life. You see, to do this, it is very important to go out and meet some mentors. You want to go out and see some seminars or give your own seminar. Continue learning and continue contributing to the world. You got to get out there and meet people who are on the rise. Now, with relationship coaching, I find the people who are having the most difficulty in relationships, the men, are usually unhappy with their careers. They're not living their purpose. And for a man, especially an alpha male, their purpose is everything. If they get into a relationship but doesn't have this taken care of, 80% of the time, the relationship will fail. So take a look at this pyramid and figure out where you are. Your goal is to at least be here in momentum or healthy, because if you're not truly happy. Your purpose can fuel this, and this can fuel your purpose. You want to isolate your core strengths and get very clear. I want to thank you for engaging with me today. My name is Bradley Lenart, and we'll see you in the next video. Hey everybody, it's Bradley. If you want to get a copy of my book, check it out at the link below. We hope you liked the video today, and remember to always live full throttle. See you next time.